I have a question. I want to start out today's stream, the topics for today's stream, with a question that I was wondering about last night when I was talking to some people. I was talking to my roommate Pasta and his co-host Fiorella, and I don't have an answer for this exactly, but it's something I wonder about, and I'm curious to know everybody else's thoughts. So please do weigh in on this. As far as the progressive movement goes, as far as trying to institute actual progressive change in this country, are we not giving enough consideration to green entering? Some people are dem entering, some people are dem exiting, some people are DSA entering, some people are just kind of taking up causes in general and kind of working with outside of the system. I think that's kind of where I fall. Some people are Republican entering. Look at what Sam Ronan is doing. Should we be giving more consideration? And I know some of you are already Greens. So, by all means, weigh in on this. But should we all be, what if we all just green entered? What if everybody, DSA, SA, like progressive Democrats that are sick of the party's strangle on progressives? What if we all just green entered? The Greens already have the structure of a party in place. And if we all green entered, it would get a lot bigger, right? Should we be more strongly considering green entering? And I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I don't, like, I see pros and cons to it. I know that when Convergence was going on, Jill Stein and some folks like her were kind of tweeting saying, hey, now's the time to green enter. There were some people like during Convergence, they were like, look, you guys are trying to draft Bernie. We get it, but he's not into it. Now's the time to green enter. Should we really strongly consider green entering? And again, I see the pros and cons to it. So some of you guys are weighing in on my questions. Kimu says it's easier to mold the Green Party into what we want it to be than to change the Democratic Party. If we all won't, Joe points out we all won't, but if we all could unite and do it, then it might work. Forever Voting Third Party says in 1880s without tech, organizations started a third party ? And Forever Voting Third Party also says we are green 2018 for 2020 vision. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Because people have kind of approached me about it, and they're like, Ron, why aren't you talking more about green entering? Why aren't you more strongly considering green entering? And you know what, guys? St. Patty's Day is coming up, so green is on my mind. I'm wearing a green shirt, sort of. This is sort of green, right? I mean, I'm also colorblind, by the way. That's something I made peace with. I know I'm colorblind, so this might not be green. I don't know. I don't know what color is my shirt. Please help. I honestly wonder if the slander against the Green Party would make it difficult. I wonder that too, Jesse. I wonder that too. And Sake points out that it would be so bad it'd be hard to join. How to attract indie Bernie voters to green enter? I don't know. Forever Voting Third Party. I mean, honestly, I don't know the answer to that. I feel like a party is just the structure that we need. I mean, we could all enter any party and work out the details later. And a lot of the stuff that the Green Party is for, I'm for. There's a few things where, I've been a little disappointed. The fact that they're kind of neutral on guns, at least they were in California, that was upsetting to me. So there's a few things to work out. And I think there's some more kind of outreach to be done. The Green Party, it's been around for a long time, but it's kind of been always a little insulary. So it has a certain stigma that whether that's deserved or not, that's a different conversation for a different day. But it exists. So would green entering maybe not go the way we want it to? Maybe not. Or maybe it could. Maybe instead of starting a whole new third party from scratch, really giving a big old facelift and really giving a big old push to the Green Party is a more feasible approach. I don't know. I mean, I don't, and I know that's something you're not supposed to say the words I don't know. on a live stream, like when you're doing a show. You're not supposed to say that. But this is a for instance where it's like I don't exactly know what the right answer is. I do feel like changing the Democratic Party from within is really we're swimming up a creek without a paddle. I mean, it's going to be difficult and near impossible because they have structures in place to make that impossible. They don't want a progressive takeover. So they're going to try to do everything that they can to prevent it. So, I mean, and you look at the powers that are put in place, super delegates, and they don't want to reform. You know, there was a reform commission that got changed to the Unity Commission. And I have a lot of respect for some of the people involved with that are trying to push it in a progressive direction, like Nomiki. I like Nomiki a lot. But, I mean, Mr. Heuristic pointed out, I voted for the Green Party in California, just trying to get them qualified for federal election campaign financing here we could. I did the same thing. I voted for Jill Stein. And that was the main reason I did it. I wanted to see them get federal funding. For me, that was a way better use of my vote. Try to help the Green Party get federal funding instead of casting a vote for somebody I really don't want to vote for, that I really, really don't want to vote for. The DNC is going to put another corporate Dem up as a candidate. Their stranglehold on mainstream media will prevent a third-party victory. I predict another Republican win in 2020, sadly. The Limetown Jack says that. Ian says, ballot access across the country is extremely hard. I know, absolutely. So might it be easier if we go with a party that already at least has some of that structure in place? And I know there's places where the Green Party's not on the ballot. I know that. We all know that. But they at least have made a bigger dent than starting on the ground floor. So Hillary stole Jill's votes, hence the 3 million. I don't know about that. I mean, I wish that was true, but I don't know about that. I think Hillary stole the nomination from Bernie, but I think a lot of people, their arm was twisted into submission at that point. And I think the Green Party still has some work to do when it comes to messaging. And I voted for Jill Stein. You know, I voted for Jill Stein, but I wish, and again, maybe this was of course, this is easier said than done, and I acknowledge that, but I wish that the Green Party somehow could have capitalized on Bernie's momentum more. And again, I'm not wagging my finger because I don't think I would have done a better job. I really don't think I know I wouldn't have, and I know people that, worked on Jill Stein's campaign. They're very brilliant minds. But I wish somehow they could have capitalized on that more. And they could have, gotten to, at least gotten to the percentage to get federal funding. The Socialist Party USA uses podcasts to help get the word out. Yeah, that's not quite enough. It might be a good strategy for the Greens. I hear you, Jesse, but yeah, we gotta, you really have to have a ground game. You have to have strong representation at all levels, including the local level. The Greens don't really have that. So again, I'm not, we don't have to have a right or wrong answer or a definitive answer right now, but it's something that I don't know. It's something that I kind of ponder a little more. Why don't we consider Green entering a little more? Prybite, thank you very much for the super chat contribution. And Prybite says the Reform Party used to be called the Independence Party. Maybe rebrand Green Party as a People's Party. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that would actually be really cool. In fact, maybe that's what I would like to see the most. Maybe what I would like to see the most is I would like to see the Green Party adopt a broader, different name, like the People's Party, which Nick Braun is trying to do, and then we can kind of build from there. That'd be amazing. I didn't mean it. I know you didn't mean exclusively. Jesse, I thought you meant we're going to exclusively use podcasts and nothing else. I want to do a video vlog. No, audio only. I know you didn't mean exclusively. It's almost impossible. Ian points out it's almost impossible to get ballot access as a minor party in some states. Right. Yeah, I mean, these are all factors, and these are all good points. The Labor Party built on the popularity of Corbyn, Jesse points out. So what the Democratic Party could have done is built on the popularity of Bernie Sanders. They chose not to. In fact, they chose to do the opposite. They chose to distance themselves. So wouldn't it be great if we had an actual left-wing party? We don't have a left-wing. I mean, we know that. I'm preaching to the choir. We do not. We have two right-wing parties in the United States. We have a fringe right-wing party and a center right-wing party, and that's being generous, calling them center. Those are the two parties we have. And again, if that represented the people that lived here, we'd have to just kind of acknowledge that, well, we really got to change up a lot of things and try to get more people onto our point of view. But the thing is that's not really reflexive of the people that live here. Not at all. We're actually a much more progressive country. So yeah, we do have a left-wing party, the Green Party. Okay, we don't have a left-wing party that has power. There you go. The Greens do not have power. So we do not have an actual left-wing party that has power. Over in the UK, Labour Party has gone further to the left because of Jeremy Corbyn. And even their Conservative Party. I mean, it's so... There was a debate between Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn on the floor that we covered on the Jimmy Dore show. And it was just amazing to watch because they were debating how much more break and workload nurses and doctors should have. You know what they weren't debating? Whether or not the government should be funding this. Like even the Conservative, the fact that the NHS needed to be funded and needed to be funded well, that was not up for a negotiation. The only thing they were negotiating was how much. But a lot was agreed upon. I mean, do you see how different that is? Like even their Conservative parties are to the left of us. I would say, and again, I'm not totally fluent in British politics. But when it comes to healthcare, even the Tories are to the left of the Democrats. I mean, it's ridiculous. So anyway, Bluebell points out we need a Labor Party. Troy, thank you very much. And Balthazar, thank you guys both very much for your Super Chat contributions. Balthazar points out Dems still have too much control. If we take their control of debates and implement ranked choice voting and multi-party systems are way easier to implement. Absolutely. Any alternative voting method, ranked choice or otherwise, would really make third parties more accessible. But, that's another long road as well. Troy points out we need to meet with like-minded people and start planning a takeover district by district, county by county, state by state. I agree. Should we do that within the Democratic Party, try to hijack it, knowing that there's going to be some hurdles of those with power trying to prevent us from do that? Or should we do it with the Greens? Or should we just do a totally new third party altogether? We the people can be as mobile as the 1800s, green as the Labor Party. I agree. I mean, there was a time where people thought the Whigs were going to be around forever. They weren't. And the Republicans have. And you know what? It was like a 6-year turnaround time. So yes, it can be done. And honestly, there's a chance we could even do it quicker. This was back in the day before they had the internet, right? Like this is back, they didn't even have telephones. This was a long time ago. So, we might be able to do it in like 2 to 3 years, maybe even less. I mean, yes, there's ballot access and stuff like that. So yeah, I understand there's administrative hurdles. So yeah, it's not like I'm gonna put out a tweet and then we're gonna be good. Like I obviously that's not how it works. Be funny if I thought that. You guys are like, wow, Ron really took too big of a dose of optimism this morning. He thinks that everybody tweet at the same time, and then we'll take a poll on what the party's gonna be called. Then we're good. I'll text Nick Rana, tell him we figured it out. I think the Greens might get a congressional seat this year. That's exciting. Joe points out that is. It worked for Trump, according to the Dems. It's a good point. It's an interesting point. Although Trump dabbled for a while before he like really committed. He did dabble for a while. So there is that. The Tories, David points out the Tories are probably to the right of the Democrats, but not as crazy as the Republicans, but just as corrupt. They're certainly corrupt. Are they to the right of the Democrats? I don't know. I mean, I'd have to break it down issue by issue. I think when it comes to healthcare, they are not to the right of the Democrats. I would say the Tories are not to the right, at least based on what exposure I've had. The Tories at least agree that everybody should have healthcare. The Tories at least agree that the NHS should exist. I mean, yeah, they're trying to do some right-wing things to their healthcare program, making it more American-esque. That is happening. But at least in the debates I've seen, they're at least not calling for the elimination of it. So I would say that the Democrats aren't even interested in universal health care. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.